Shalom, shalom. I want to start off, of course, giving all honor and glory and praise and worship to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. Brakatah Yahawah, Brakatah Yahawashah, Brakatah Yahawah, Brakatah Yahawashah, Brakatah Yahawah, Brakatah Yahawashah. Double honors to our apostles and the elders, a great millstone who rule well, teach you in sound doctrine, strong shalom to the hopeful elect, and a large multitude of believers, man. That the Lord have mercy on these last days, man. All right. Just real quick, just conversing in the spirit with the brother Daniel Ra, and he we were just going into how, man, like it's crazy. Like the brother was mentioned, he made a point of like it's crazy how it's crazy how it's crazy how it's like, yeah, I had a stutter because I was about to park, but yeah, we was conversing in the spirit, and it's crazy how when you think about the story of Joseph, right? Joseph, I'm talking about in the scriptures, going back into the Pharaoh days. All right, what happened? The Lord had it where, oh, Salaki, I can focus when I park, Salaki. All right, Salaki. Yeah, so the brother was conversing, and he was just basically going into how, you gotta flee fornication, right? Flee temptation and flee fornication. But as we was conversing, the brother made the point as what? Pharaoh's wife was coming on to Joseph, and then because she was coming on to Joseph, the brother made a point that she had to come extra aggressive. And because she had to come extra aggressive. Why? Because the brother made another point through the spirit. Why? Because she's used to other men just bending to her will. Okay, and that shows you that like the women, the state of our women in this society, the so-called black woman, Hispanic woman, Native woman, and child, woman and their daughters, the state of our women is like the heathen nations, and it's proof. Thinking about the story of Joseph
and the Jezebel spirit.
There you go, the makeup and the contouring and all that. But on the topic at hand, Pharaoh's wife came up to Joseph, and when she came up to Joseph, what happened? She had to, like I said, she had to put forth another extra effort. So he made a point like, well, that's the same thing that's going on today in society. So when you meditate on the story, it's like, and I have made the point like, well, that's the difference between the flesh and the spirit, because that shows you that the spirit was dwelling with Joseph the whole time, man. To the point that what? To the point that he was able to flee fornication. All right, or he was able to resist the temptation that was brought upon him through the spiritual demon Satan, but by the power of Yahawah, Yahawashai. And the one last point I want to make, now you got it. But one last point I want to make is that as we was conversing, when you meditate on the story again, like the brother said, what? That is probably other men would have fell for that, right? Other men would have fell for that and did. And I thought about it. There you go. She seduced so many men. How many? Who knows how many men she probably seduced? You see, to get her way, and that's what women do in today's society, man. They get their way by seducing men. Okay, see, they learn
master the art of seduction.
There you go. Cause real quick, you ain't got your. Let me get this preset real quick, because it just made me think. Oh, you got your phone? You got the Bible app on there? Get this. Hold on, let me see something real quick. All right, because it made me think of because the women, they seduce our men in society because they move as Esau. All right, the women are as Esau, man. The black woman and Esau are synonymous in society. They were the start. It was the start of the fall, and they're gonna be the end of the fall, end of this the kingdom, man. The end of the state, man. The end of a falling state. The woman's mindset, God is at a peak of falling, man. So when you think about what happened with his wife, she was trying to seduce him. But what is so important about this? I mentioned Satan. So when you go to second, I'm trying to wait for my phone to load. But when you go to 2 Corinthians 11, all right, and 2, it tell you what? It tell you that through his subtlety, right? Whose subtlety? Hashatan in the garden. Hashatan, the spirit of Satan that was in who? Esau, the spirit of Esau, who roamed the garden, who roamed amongst Adam and Eve, came into the woman, and he seduced her. As you go into that word, seduce, it goes into beguile. So he beguiled her mind. He mind effed her. Okay, and then when you go to Genesis 3:1, I'm quoting scriptures because I ain't got access to my phone. When you go to Genesis 3:1, it tells you what? It tells you that the serpent, it tells you that the serpent was in the garden, but was crafty, and when you go to that word crafty, it goes into you go into that word subtle, it means crafty. And when you go into that word serpent in that verse, it goes into one who practiced divination. So he was a witch, all right, and he seduced her mind, man, not physically but spiritually, in the mind, mentally. Okay, with your mind is connected to the spirit. So the point is that, you know what I'm saying, is that um that's how Esau trained Eve to move, and because why? These are acts of the heathen nations. And so when you think of what was going on with Joseph and a woman, how was he able to overcome? He overcame by what? The spirit of YAHWASHI. So when you trust and lean on YAHWASHI, and if the Father's Spirit is dwelling with you, you're always protected within your life. Like we were talking about, what, car crashes, like brother mentioned it earlier, fires, almost drowning, different things as such. We had brothers, we know that was almost on their deathbed, man. And the Lord preserved, you for His will, man, to do His will, whatever that may be. And that's a beautiful thing, man. It's like I was going on for a minute, but go ahead. You know what I'm saying?
No,
say what you was about to say.
That's why this title is so appropriate, because Joseph was placed in a situation where he had to flee fornication. He literally fled. He didn't walk away or try to talk his way out of the situation. He fled. And what happened was, the king's wife, she took hold of his garment, and he worked his way out of the garment and left it in her hand, and she used it to allege that he tried to rape her, which the king, some part of him knew that wasn't true, but he had to honor his wife, similar to this stupid Chris Rock and Wilson defending honor, which we know it wasn't about that. But back to this, this was still his honest integrity coming through, where I'm not going to do this wicked thing no matter what the cost and consequence is. So he fled, and his garment was left. She had the garment and claimed that he tried to rape her, and used that to convince her husband, the king, to prosecute Joseph. And Joseph was taken into prison, but YAHWASHI was with Joseph, because Joseph wound up being given full charge and authority in the prison, just like something that happened to Daniel, and several other minor and major prophets that have been taken into prison and so forth, wrongfully accused and so forth, or John the Baptist being beheaded because he spoke against the wickedness of Miriam and her daughter. But the whole thing is on the principle of the fact that these wicked women have always had the power of seduction and influence, and everybody gave them the benefit of doubt of their word being, gospel, and never second guessing or never taking them to task over anything. Now we know that they're some of the worst liars, but back then everything they said was like gold. So
yeah, and like we talk about the woman, right? Everything right. Because why? Because see, this is the thing, man. It's going to take a spiritual man. All right, it's going to take a spiritual man to overcome the things that's coming our way, brothers and sisters. All right, it's going to take a spiritual man and woman to yo. All I can say, man, the things that's about to come to society, man. The Esau uses the woman. All right, and the women, like you think of the book of Eli, when they was using the woman, all right, to try to persuade Denzel, and like they always do. All right, she was their pet, and that's what these women are. They're pets. All right, you tell them what to do, you train them. I know it sounds harsh, but that's the reality. All right, but on the righteous side, she's a helpmeet. We don't look at her as a pet, because we're the Lord said, "Love your wives." You know, as Hamashiach loves
the church.
We're not talking on that level. We're talking about. Right,
and that's a righteous woman.
Right, right. That's right, and we ain't gonna see that until the kingdom, because Solomon said there's not one. You know what I'm saying? All these women minds are connected in some way, somehow, man. They all think alike, man.
And that makes me think about Salakia for interrupting, but while it was fresh, that made me think about a proverb where it stated that of 1,000 men, one righteous can be found.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Solomon. You know, Solomon said that, but
of the women,
none.
Yeah, and then not one among them all.
And when you
in scripture,
when you think about because when a woman is next to another woman and she's constantly around that woman a lot, you know, they pick up on the same monthly cycles, like they monthly women things, like they periods. All right, they start to have synchronicity periods because they all think alike, man. They all connected somehow, man. You know, but yeah, we just wanted to, Lord willing, we could go in depth on that lesson later, but we just wanted to talk on that because it's a beautiful point. Because you can't don't let the things of this world, all right, mainly these women, all right, and the things attached to this society, sway you off the course. You gotta flee. You gotta flee fornication. You gotta flee temptation. You gotta flee adultery. You gotta flee. You gotta try to. The point is that you got to continue to try to grow, all right, so that the spirit could continue to
your course.
Yeah, there you go, and so the spirit could continue to sup with you, like it says in Revelations 3. All right, I stand at the door and knock. You know, the Lord will come in and sup with you, and now the Lord was supping with you, which is what, giving us this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and ability to what, endure. How are we able to endure? Our bodies hurt, we're poor, you know, it's all type of shit we gotta do in life. But how are we able to overcome this? By what? By the spirit and power of YAHWASHI, the spirit and power of YAHWASHI, man. That's how we are able to overcome this, by his spirit. And that's the only thing that's gonna be able to save. As a matter of fact, in Isaiah 59, all right, it said, when you read it, it says the spirit of the Lord will lift up a standard against them. You know, a way to escape, a way to flee. Go to that word standard. It means a way to get out that situation, man. So the spirit of the Lord,
the spirit of the Lord,
and the spirit is what? Energy.
A standard against them.
You know,
and greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. So you know, we can take. Oh, Salaki.
No, you good. You can say your point and close out because we about
to. So we have the victory. We just have to maintain a focus on the mission, and everything else will just fall into place. Because
we got to catch up with the time on YAHWAH. We live in a different realm, so our time frames got to link up with one another. You know what I'm saying? That one, by the time our time frames link up with one another, that's salvation, man. Esau's destruction, man. And our women back in order, man.
Woo!
You know, shit. We don't go off no more. You know, you got brother, you got man. It's gonna be crazy. Go ahead, brother. I ain't gonna cut you off.
No, you excellent point. You know, when we can, finally attain, well, through YAHWASHI granting us the victory of the incorruptible flesh, then that puts it in once and for all. Just like YAHWASHI's sacrifice once and for all for overcoming death and all of the sin that will have us slaves and have us ensnared in strongholds. But see, only the righteous is going to attain that perfect, circumspect, blameless state. So once that happens, then we got the victory. We just have to maintain that mindset so that it's like overcoming the world.
That's what it is. It is overcoming the world. The scriptures tell you in 2 Ezra 2, they tell you these are they that have flee these are they that have roughly paraphrasing, these are they that had put on immortal garments. All right, put on those garments. All right, these are those clothed in white. All right, these are those with palms in their hands. All right, these are those that fled fornication. All right, flee the shadow of this world, like it says in verse 36. All right, it says, flee the shadow of this world and I testify my Savior openly. These are the ones that are found with the garments without spot or blemish. All right, the ones without wicked guile, man, and deceit. All right, not being sincere. all right, now wasn't able to conquer the flesh and allow the spirit to uplift itself. That's what this thing is. We're see, I went into that word judge. Being a true judge is connected to the spirit. Only the ones that can judge righteously are the ones with the spirit. You see, those are the ones that are able to discern between what the unclean, the clean, and the unclean. All right, that's what it's coming down to, man. Separating what the clean from the unclean. All right, and that goes with these women. That goes with everything, man. Because lust, temptation is it's all around you. Not just not just one. It's all type of temptation around you, man. Everywhere you turn, god damn, it's a thought. It's something in your face. It's like no matter where you go, Esau made it his job to put that low vibration, that low frequency around you. And then on top of that, he had to top it off with actual radiation and other frequencies within towers. And so even if you're on planes, even if you're in the air, you're in the water, doesn't matter where you are. This man has found a way to keep you low. Not on top of that, you got your children talking that, I mean, if you got a disorderly household, your children is some neglects. All right, your woman always goddamn, so I'm speaking on brothers who has to deal with that, because every brother got their measure. So I'm saying, like, you got to deal with that in this society. We're not gonna have to deal with that in the kingdom, man. We're not going to have to. What the fuck is, we're not gonna have to worry about if I have to, commit, Khan, that's it. We're gonna keep it as simple as that. Things being out of order, man. All right. And the fact that this started with the woman, like we talking about, the Pharaoh's wife dealing with Joseph, you know what I'm saying? It's the fact that the fact that the mindset that Joseph had is that not only did he flee with it, remember, with the Most High, YAHWASHI starts in the spiritual to the physical. So Joseph was able to what? Overcome flesh, the physical, because he was tapped in the spirit, or his spirit was on fire. How do you know that? Because when they was just having a conversation, he denied her, but she still approached. So when as she got more aggressively, like you mentioned earlier, she grabbed his what?
She grabbed his garment.
She grabbed his garment.
He got out of his garment, and she held on to it and used it to allege that he tried to rape her.
Right. So by him, now it's not more so a mental game. So now it's a physical game. So now she grabbed the garment and he still was able to what? Conquer that. Why? Because he already conquered it in his mind. It started with his mind. See, that's why sin is so bad, because it's premeditated. Like it comes as a thought and then you commit it. A murderer just don't, it just have his gun on his hip and then just pull it up and shoot somebody. That has a thought. Don't you know your whole body operates off your brain? So it came as a thought, and then he acted upon the sin.
All sin originates in thought.
That's right. And the scripture coming to mind, Proverbs 16:1. The preparation of the tongue, the preparation of the heart, and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. So like. But it's from the Lord, but the Lord allowed those spirits to jump on you. But then when you go to 2 Ezra 16, it tells you that the Lord knows your inventions. So you go into that word invention, it goes into what? Premeditated. Because in order to invent something, I have to constantly meditate on it, think upon it, so I can properly construct it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how bad sin is. So we gotta flee, man.
From the abundance of the mind, the mouth speaks, and in actions as well. From the abundance of the mind, actions ensue.
That's in James 5, man. Talking about the tongue. You know what I'm saying? Like, your tongue can consume you, because your tongue it's not like YAHWASHI said, it's not what goes into a man, what comes out. Like your tongue is gonna spew out your true character. And if your tongue is a vile, your tongue is a vile member. It's a
who can tame it?
There you go. Who could tame it? So if you know what I'm saying. So how much more, you know what I'm saying, the body and everything else that acts out. You know what I'm saying. Your actual action that you convey in the world. So that's how serious this thing is, man. So we got to be like Joseph, man. We got to flee fornication. We got to flee temptation. And if it's real, it's a stronghold. We got to trust in the names that we've been given, which is YAHAWAH and YAHWASHI. You know what I'm saying? We trust in the true names, what? To flee fornication. You know what I'm saying? But because we already know why, because the Lord already told us and he prepared us for it. He said, when you come to serve me, what? Prepare thy soul for temptation. There you go. Prepare thy soul for temptation. So we already know what's coming. Okay? We gotta be like, we gotta have a mindset of our forefathers. Romans 15:4. Things are written for time was written for our what? Our learning, man. So that we through comfort of the scriptures might have hope. We remember what our forefathers went through, how they came through it, how the spirit was moving on them, and then what? It comforts us, and now we have hope that I too can conquer this flesh or this, or flee from fornication or flee whatever and that's how we gotta move from now on. You got something else you want to say? Close out.
Only thing closing out, just want to state that the emphasis of this lesson is to recognize that, in all the totality of life, in all of us that we encounter, these temptation and circumstances are the test of our spiritual integrity, as well as to prepare us and equip us to really become stronger in the Lord and to develop the type of character that's pleasing in his sight and identifies us and sanctifies us from the rest of the world in terms of the wicked and the ungodly. So that's the most beautiful aspect of this thing. That's the thing that makes the people of the house of Israel a peculiar people. We stand out by virtue of it's just something that sets them apart that the world cannot perceive or receive, but at the same time, it's not meant to be because they are not of.
They dwell in darkness.
They dwell in darkness,
and the whole world is in darkness. That's why the Lord said, "Flee the shadow of this world." Like I said earlier, in 2 Ezra 2. When you flee a shadow, you take you take shade, right? From the sun when it's too hot. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta come from under the umbrella, the tree of Esau, the mindset of Esau. His protection, when you really go into it, that shade is what protecting you from the sun. So that when you go flee the shadow, flee Esau's protection, meaning his trusting in his system, his society, his pharmaceuticals, and trusting in his concept, and what coming into the umbrella of YAHWASHI, which it says, I believe in Psalms, we flee under the shadows of we flee in the shadow of thy wings, roughly paraphrasing. The wings being his chariots, we are under the shadow of YAHWASHI. We're under his protection now, So Lord willing is edifying, flee fornication and flee temptation, man, because we are in those troubling times, man. Lord willing is edifying again. We want to give all honor and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, BAHASHAM, HAQADASH. Double honor to our apostles, elders of great millstone, who will teach you a sound doctrine to this very day. Strong shalom, the hopeful elect, and a large body of believers that the Lord will have mercy on in these dangerous times that are approaching us. Until next time, shalom.
Shalom. Abba,
DTA soon.